Good morning, everyone. So today I thought I would talk about retinoids, specifically the three from The Ordinary. Now, as most of you know by now, The Ordinary has added a new retinoid to their collection, the Retinal 0.2% Emulsion, which I have reviewed and demonstrated here on my channel. So if you haven't seen that video, I'm going to leave it below for your reference, as well as up here. Now, in the past, I have talked about The Ordinary Retinol, as well as The Ordinary Granactive Retinoid. Now, it's been a while since I've talked about those two, so I thought I would create this video and talk about all three, give you a review for each one, and then give you some guidance on who should use what, because they are all different. There are different strengths as well, so if you're a beginner or a long-time user, honestly, you will find this video very helpful. Plus, if you're looking for an affordable option to incorporate as well, then this video is definitely for you. So I have a lot of reviews here on my channel when it comes to the Ordinary brand. So if you are new here and you want to learn more, I'm going to leave that Ordinary playlist below for you, along with discount codes. Please don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell, as I'd love to have you all here long term. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up as well, as it really does help to support my channel. Alright, so retinoids are honestly great for so many skin concerns, which is why everybody is talking about them and incorporating them in their nighttime routine, because they target multiple skin concerns. So they do it all. It's like the gold standard ingredient in the skincare world. So retinoids can help to address a dull complexion, an uneven skin tone, if you have texture, if you have any signs of acne, post-acne marks, and of course, early signs of aging, of fine lines and wrinkles, and loss of firmness and elasticity. So retinoids are really great to use when you're starting to see these skin concerns on your skin, but also a lot of people like to use them as preventative as well before they start to see these things. So either way, it's a great product to incorporate in your weekly routine. So some people will use them every night, and then of course some people may only use a retinoid a few times per week. It just depends on your skin, how sensitive it is, and of course how many times you would like to incorporate it. So of course there are different types of retinoids, and the first one that we're going to be talking about is retinol. So this is generally the most well-studied ingredient, and it's also the most common. It's the most popular. You can find retinols anywhere. Honestly, you can find them at the drugstore, as you know. You can find them at Sephora. Pretty much every brand nowadays carries some type of retinol. Now, The Ordinary has three different strengths when it comes to their retinol. So they have the Retinol 0.2% in Squalane, which is very gentle. This is the lowest percentage that they have. Then they have the Retinol 0.5% in Squalane, which is a little bit stronger, more of that moderate field. And then they have the Retinol 1% in Squalane, which is stronger than the previous two. Now, these are really nice to use, especially if you're a beginner, because you can start with the lowest percent, work your way up to the highest if that is your goal. But the one from The Ordinary is in a Squalane base. So this is like that oil texture. So it is a serum, but with that oil type of texture to it. So with that being said, when you incorporate this in your nighttime routine, as retinoids are best to use at nighttime, you want to use this after your water-based products. So if you're into toners, facial mists, essences, maybe you're into some type of water-based serum like a hyaluronic acid or a niacinamide, you would want to apply those first, then The Ordinary retinol, whichever percentage, and then of course your moisturizer on top of the retinol. And that would be how you would incorporate it in your nighttime routine. If you do use this in your morning routine, make sure you wear sunscreen as that last step in your skincare routine. But generally, retinoids are best used at nighttime, and then in the morning you can use a vitamin C serum, a peptide serum, or whatever you want to do. But I really do like the retinol from The Ordinary. I feel like it is very moisturizing. Although it does have that oil-like texture, it is quite lightweight on the skin. I never experienced pilling with this formulation either, and I did find it quite gentle as well. So I always used the 1%. Even the 1% I did find was quite gentle, but of course we are all different. You might experience irritation and some dryness, which is common. As your skin becomes more accustomed to it, then of course you may not experience the dryness and irritation. But if you don't like that oil-like texture, which I completely understand, and you want something a little bit stronger maybe, then that's when we can move on to the ordinary Granactive Retinoid. Now before I move on to the Granactive Retinoid, I should mention that when you're using a retinol has to go through 2 conversions to turn retinol into retinoic acid. Retinoic acid is what's going to correct your skin. Now, retinoic acid is also known as prescription tretinoin, and so when you're using a prescription-based retinoid, you're putting retinoic acid directly on the skin, which is why this is considered a medication in most countries, because it's very strong and there could be a lot of irritation and dryness. So retinols are definitely more gentle, and your skin has to go through 2 conversions, like I said. So with the Granactive Retinoid, this is next generation. This is one of the newest retinoids in the retinoid family. So this is also known as hydroxypinacolone retinoate. And so with this type of retinoid, there is no conversion necessary once it's applied to the skin, which I think is really cool. Now, there are 2 percentages with the Granactive Retinoid. There is the Granactive Retinoid 2% Emulsion, which actually comes in a milky, creamy consistency. And then they have the Granactive Retinoid 5% in Squalane. So again, it's back in that squalane base, that oil-like serum. Now, these 2 products are no longer available in Canada, and I don't know why this happened several years ago. Obviously, with the government, there were some regulations set in place, so I feel like it's been like 6 or 7 years, maybe even longer than that, since this has been removed from Canada. So before this was removed, I did have the opportunity early on to try both of these products, and they both were lovely, but I really loved the 2% Emulsion because of that creamy, milky consistency. It just felt so comforting on the skin. It was also very moisturizing and a great step up from the retinol category. So with this one, this would be more for frequent users. This has that moderate strength. And then of course with the Granactive Retinoid 5% in Squalane, this one is more for advanced users. It's definitely stronger as well, but again with that oil-like serum. So it just depends on what texture you like here, and this might determine which one to go with. But even with the 2% Emulsion, you still want to apply this after water-based serums because this has that thicker texture to it. Now just know that you don't have to apply serums, toners, and essences before your retinoid. But if you wish to, you can totally do that. Just make sure that your water-based products are applied first before the Granactive Retinoid in Squalane or in Emulsion. And I also should have mentioned early on when I was talking about retinol, it's best to apply your retinoids onto dry skin or skin that is as dry as it can be, because this is going to prevent additional dryness and irritation a couple of days later. If you put these onto skin that is damp, which there's nothing wrong with that, but just know that it will allow your retinoid to penetrate quicker into the skin, which then could lead to further dryness and irritation a few days later. So if you're a beginner, you know you're a little sensitive to retinoids, then put them on dry skin. But if you choose to put them on skin that is damp, that is completely fine, especially if you're not experiencing anything additional in terms of irritation. But I really like the Granactive Retinoid family here from The Ordinary. I feel like either one is sufficient, but I really do like the 2% Emulsion because of that milky consistency. And the third retinoid that they have in their collection is the new Retinal 0.2% Emulsion, also known as retinaldehyde. So with this retinoid in particular, this only has to go through 1 conversion. So once this is applied to the skin is going to convert retinaldehyde into retinoic acid. So this is Definitely stronger than the previous two that I just mentioned, but it's one step down from retinoic acid, also known as prescription tretinoin. So if you can't get your hands on prescription tretinoin, but you want something that is very similar and comparable to it, then you have to look into a retinaldehyde, specifically this one. Truly, out of the three retinoids that The Ordinary has, this is the one that has performed the best on my skin because it's the strongest, it's the most effective, but also it is meant for those that are even more advanced with retinoids. So if you've been using a retinol and a retinoid for a really long time and you're now ready for something stronger, then this is where you can start. I wouldn't say jump right in and start using this if you're a beginner. Honestly, I would start with the Retinol or the Granactive retinoid first and then make your way to the Retinal 0.2% emulsion, just so that you can eliminate irritation and just give your skin time to adjust to that vitamin A. Now with this product in particular, it is in a creamy serum texture, which I really like. So I do feel like it's quite moisturizing, and it does have that bright yellow hue to it. And that is a really good sign because that means that this product is at a high concentration of Retinal. So with that being said, when you put this on your skin, you could experience staining of the skin. So your skin will look kind of yellow orange, but just know that when you wake up the next morning, it washes off and you're not left with a stained face. But it's a really good sign because when you're looking for a retinaldehyde, you really do want that nice yellow tone to it so that you know it has that high potency of retinaldehyde. So with this product in particular, of course, you would want to apply your water-based serums first, all of your serums and essences, then this afterwards, and then of course your moisturizer on top of this. You don't have to put a moisturizer on top if you don't want to, but I do recommend it, especially to keep your skin nice and comfortable and well moisturized. I would start with once a week with this and then gradually go to 2 times per week and then increase as your skin adjusts to it. Leave days in between, and all you need is 1 pea-sized amount. So 1 pump will actually give you a true pea-sized amount, and that is all you need to apply to your face. Now you can put this down your neck as well, especially if your neck can tolerate well to it. My neck actually tolerates really well to this product. So what I've been doing is putting prescription tretinoin on my face because that's generally what I use on a weekly basis. And I use this product on my neck and sometimes the tops of my hands before I go to bed. But I was using this a lot on my face when I first tried it, and I really loved it. It gave a brighter complexion and it really did help to correct texture. It gave that nice soft feel and look to my skin. So this can really help to address signs of aging, discoloration, and the more consistent you are with your retinoids, the better off you're gonna be. So those are the 3 retinoids that The Ordinary offers. I really hope that you enjoyed this video and that you found it helpful, and hopefully this was a nice guidance for you on the different categories, the different strengths, and which one to go with and start with. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to ask away in that comment section. Remember, I do have a review and demonstration of the new Retinal 0.2% emulsion. So if you want to see how I apply it to my skin and what it looks like, of course, that video will be linked below for you, along with all of these products that I talked about as well. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And of course, I will see you all in the next video. So take care, and I will see you all then. Bye, guys.